morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio, so today I am here to tell you one simple thing, and that is that the Japanese set, Shiny Treasures EX, and the English set, Paldean Fates, which is very clearly our version of Shiny Treasures EX, are not the same. They are going to look the same in many regards, and we're going to go through all of that. But just from the start here, okay? These are not the same set. Now, at its core, they are, of course, very, very similar. They are sets which are celebrating essentially the end of the year of the Pokemon TCG. Japan actually always gets these sets right at the end of the year. We muck around a little bit more because we don't have quite the, Japan takes the lead when it comes to the timing. But yeah, it's the end of the year. And to be fair, we're getting this starting on January the 26th, so literally the end of the year. And there are going to be certain things that are in common between the two sets. So, for instance, all of those lovely shiny Pokemon, they are going to be coming across. And all of those lovely shiny EXs are also going to be coming across. All of this is stuff that we absolutely should be expecting. But that is where we start to deviate a little bit. Now, in terms of the new cards, that's the one thing we can be pretty sure about. The shinies and the new cards, expect them in both sets. So, for instance, we know that there are 2 new EXs in the set, brand new EXs, never before seen. That is, of course, your Iron Treads and Great Tusk. They are brand new, never before seen cards. They are in the set, and so are the shinies, although we've got them as promos. More on that in a moment. Any new cards we can assume that we're going to be getting. Our Clive, the supporter card, you can assume that we're going to be getting. Paldean Students, both versions of it, you can probably assume we are going to be getting. Anything that is brand new, we should get. And similarly, anything which is kind of new. So by kind of new, let's take Tentacruel as an example. Tentacruel is not a new card. We got Tentacruel in Obsidian Flames. However, it is worth noting that the Shiny EX is new, and it is brand new. Like, there was no full art, for instance, on which to base it, like most of the EXs. It is actually like a proper job brand new card. Toadscruel. I said Tentacruel, I clearly meant Toadscruel. Sorry about that, I was in a bit of a flow. Now I've broken out of it by correcting myself. Never mind. So all of those things we should be expecting to have. And that is where we start deviating wildly. Now, one of the first and easiest things, let's go back to the shiny versions of Great Tusk and Iron Treads. We know that they are coming for us as tin promos. They will not be in the set, per se, but they are in the set, by which I mean they are available as promos in the tins, but you cannot get them opening a pack. If you open a pack of Paldean Fates, you can pull the regular Great Tusk and Iron Treads, and they have already been confirmed in the press release that we are definitely getting them, but the shiny versions are only available in the tin, and that goes for a bunch of other stuff. The shiny Charizard EX, which is obviously going to be one of the most sought after cards in the set, only available in the tin. The shiny version of Graveard, only available in the Tech Sticker collection. And then I don't have images of the cards, but you can imagine the shiny versions of Mashif and Fido are again going to be only in those Tech Sticker collections. That should be pretty simple. Now, technically it's not confirmed, but we know how it always works, alright? It's going to be that way again. And we can keep going because there are some more. The entire evolution line of Fuecoco, from Fuecoco through Crocodile and Skeledirge. Yep, they're going to be promos. They're not going to be in the set. Same for Meowscarada. Same for Quaquavel. That is a lot of shiny cards that are only going to be available for us as promos. 15 by my count, incidentally. That is quite a lot. So there are going to be fewer of the shiny cards in our set than in Japan's, and that doesn't mean we're getting fewer of the shiny cards overall. It means we're getting a bunch of promos, and Japan has to pull them all from sets. And we saw a similar kind of thing, well, with every set, but take 151 as an example. The Mew Ultra Premium Collection had the Mew. That card was one of the biggest pulls that you can get over in Japan in the 151 set. Over here, wasn't in the 151 set proper. It could only be gotten by buying the Mew Ultra Premium Collection. Cool. For what it's worth, I kind of like this, because it means, like, for instance, for me, I really want the Great Tuscan Iron Treads, and I really want the Graveyard and Fuecoco. All of those are going to be just available as promos, makes my job easier. But also, if you're looking to get a complete collection of shiny cards, well, if there's fewer in the set proper, then that means that your chances of pulling the one you want is higher, because you're buying the same amount of packs, but with fewer different ones you can pull. That's kind of a good thing. I like this. I know not everybody does. I really do. It does kind of tank the value of any of the cards that end up as promos rather than in the set. But I have absolutely no issue with this whatsoever. That seems fine by me. The other one which has been confirmed to be a promo is, of course, the Mimikyu, which is coming around in the Elite Trainer box. And that's an odd one to me, because, of course, we know there are going to be some illustration rares in the set. That was confirmed in the press release when the set was officially revealed. We don't know too much about them, but we have seen the Mimikyu. It's a reprint of an existing Mimikyu. It's not a new card. The only new cards are the ones I pointed out, like the Iron Treads and Great Tusk. But it is, of course, still amazing and beautiful, but it's not going to be pulled from a pack. It's going to be in the ETB. But then we get to the other big question, the rest of the set. Outside of the shiny cards, which we're all getting, and outside of the new cards, which we're all getting, there's also the bulk of the set. Now, what Japan's doing is what Japan always does, and if you're a player in Japan, it is just the best. Bunch of reprints. Like so many sets in the past, this is essentially a reprint set for Japan. They're getting Iono. They're getting Nest Ball. They're getting Superior Energy Retrieval. They're getting Super Rod. They're getting Penny. I'm not going to keep going. You get the point here. They are getting a whole bunch of reprints to make it easier to build competitive decks. And that's literally the point here. The point is that in Japan, they go, right, end of the year, here's a set of a whole bunch of staples. Now you can go and build a deck more easily than you could before. It's a wonderful idea. That is not the case over here. We are not going to be getting these reprints. We are going to be getting catch-up. And again, I know we haven't seen the whole set list for this, but we've seen this before, like, over and over again. Have a look at Shining Fates as an example. And to be clear, this is blatantly the new version of Shining Fates. I don't think anyone's arguing against that for a second. So this is exactly what happened with Shining Fates and other sets in the past. We are going to use this as an excuse to catch up with Japan. Now, I have in the past suggested stuff like Graphite EX, random magazine promo that we haven't had yet. I would imagine that's going to turn up in this set. Can't say for certain, but I would imagine so. But then also just a bunch of other random Japanese cards, whether they're league promos, gym promos, or whatever. I would imagine all those Japanese cards that for whatever reason we haven't gotten yet should be showing up in our set. But I wouldn't expect a whole bunch of playable cards like they have in Japan just being reprinted, because that just never happens for our sets. We're going to get a bunch of catch-up stuff. Although, incidentally, Japan is also doing that a little bit as well. But there are going to be, the stuff Japan's catching up with, we're not getting. Again, there is a chance I'm wrong about this, just to be clear, full transparency and all that. But I would be stunned. There are a bunch of things that Japan's actually catching up with. So the Chen Pao, which was an alternate art in the EX deck for us, has been confirmed to be coming out over in Japan in this set. The Alakazam that was in the Alakazam EX box over here has been confirmed to just be coming out in the set for Japan. They're catching up on that. And they're also getting a bunch of cards that for us were pre-release promos. Things like Cleffa as an example. Or things like the Palafin or Baxcalibur. There are a couple of others that'll do for now. It's not been confirmed that Japan is getting all of the pre-release promos. And historically in the past, they have not gotten all of the alternate art pre-release promos. They might this time, they might not. In the past, they generally haven't. That is something to bear in mind. There is a decent chance that Japan ends up at the end of this missing a couple of these pre-release promos. But do not expect these cards in our set. These were promos given out in various ways. Japan didn't get them, they're catching up. We did. Do not expect to get them. So I started this video telling you that these sets are not going to be the same. Let's run it down nice and quickly as we finish. In terms of things that are going to be the same, the shinies and secret rares, and the new cards. You can expect that will be in the Japanese set and in our set as well. Shiny Treasures EX and Paldean Fates. That should be a given. Again, all unconfirmed until the actual set list comes out, but I feel extremely confident. Things that will not be the same, we are taking a bunch of cards out of the sets to use as promos. For Japan, they're going to be just in the set proper. Japan is going to have a bunch of reprints that we should not be expecting. Japan is going to have a bunch of catch-up stuff that we should not be expecting. But we are going to have a bunch of catch-up stuff as well that Japan shouldn't be expecting because they've already had it. The hook and the core of both sets is absolutely the same. Look at the shiny. But in terms of the actual makeup, we've seen it several times before, and I think I've explained quite well. I'm convinced it's happening again. The bulk of the set, the rest of the set, is going to end up being different. Right, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you need to know, and now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about all of this. Tell me how hyped you are for Paldean Fates. Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Good us! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shout-outs on the channel like the lovely Evan Parker, who's been a supporter of ours for a while and is a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.